Hey everyone, it's Daniel here, and I wanted to share with you today a quick illustration I made based off of David Marquet's excellent book, Turn the Ship Around. And real quick on the book, David Marquet was the captain of the USS Santa Fe, which was a nuclear submarine based in Pearl Harbor. And before this, David was actually taking a whole year to be the captain of a different submarine, and then last minute was put in charge of this submarine. And so he didn't know anything about how this submarine worked, and he couldn't delegate tasks, he couldn't give orders as well because he didn't know the ins and outs of the submarine. So in the USS Santa Fe at this point was in a tough spot. They were bottom of the barrel of the fleet, and their retention rates were horrible, their reports, etc., their performance reviews were bottom of the barrel. And the book is the beautiful story of how through David Marquet's leadership he turned the ship around. And the three main teachings from the book are what I'm going to label these three circles. The first is control, next is clarity, and finally is competence. And so because David didn't know all the ins and outs of this submarine, he had to give more and more control to the people actually doing the work, the people at the interfaces, the people at the levers, at the buttons, at the screens, so that they could do the work. So he set out to increasingly give more and more control to the people underneath him. But as he was giving more control, he realized, hey, we really need to make sure our people are competent. They have the technical competence to carry out the work that they're assigned to. And because you need a greater degree of competence to actually understand something and carry it out beyond just following orders. Following orders is one thing, it's easy to do that, but to understand a situation and then act in accordance to that situation requires a greater degree of competence. So he set out to increase the competence of his teams. And finally, he realized that as more control is given to the people underneath them, they need greater clarity. What is their mission? What are we trying to accomplish in this training exercise? And or for our businesses, hey, what is our mission? What's our product goal? Where are we headed as a business? So teams need increasing clarity as they're given more control so that they can actually carry out the work because they have that newfound control. But it got me, these three C's, control, clarity, and competence, got me thinking, hey, what if we only have 2 out of 3 of these things? What would that mean? And so let's say we have clarity and competence, but we don't have control. Well, these people are enchained. And I love what Marquet said. It's one thing to empower people, but it's another thing to emancipate them. That's such a powerful word, to liberate them, to set them free, to do their work, right? They have the clarity, they have the competence, and they can do the work. So give them trust, give them control, because this team, when they don't have control, they feel like they're enchained, they're demotivated, they need more autonomy and to do their work, right? So they feel like they are enchained. All right, let's move on to these next ones. How about if a team has control and competence, but not clarity? Well, this team is myopic, right? They need to see. They need light. They need more clarity over what are they trying to accomplish. And maybe a situation here is that team members are just kind of off doing their own thing, and there's fuzziness in between how they interact as a team because there's not a goal that brings focus and clarity to their work. So a team without clarity but with control and competence is myopic. And for this third one is, let's see, kind of got this like dusty brown orange going. This, a team with control and clarity but not competence, this is dangerous, right? Okay, they have control, they have ownership over their work, and they know what they're trying to accomplish, but they can't do it, right? And so, in their case, on a nuclear submarine, people's lives could be at stake. And for us, our businesses could be at stake, our products could be at stake. So, we need to really ensure in leadership. An aspect of leadership is ensuring that the people underneath you are always growing in competence, and just delegating tasks is not increasing their competence, but giving them control allows them to grow in their competence, because they start really owning what they're doing, and then they can grow and they can be even more innovative than we ever could be ourselves. So finally, I want to fill in this middle gap right here and call this effective, right? This is where effectiveness is, right? So for our teams to be effective, they need control, they need competence, and they need clarity. So pretty simple illustration. What I love about it is that it is easily memorable. And I had a recent coworker who would say, if it's memorable, it's mobile. And so all you need to remember for this illustration is that there's 3 C's, right? There's control, there's competence, and there's clarity. And then you can remember EDM, right? Electronic dance music. I could do the sounds for that, but I'm sure you know what they sound like. But this is enchained, myopic, and dangerous. So quick, easy illustration. Use this with your teams. Use this with a colleague and say, hey, where are we in this illustration? Maybe we're down here, and what could it look like for us to slowly move our way toward greater effectiveness? And how could you talk about leadership on what giving more control could possibly look like? Or maybe you could come to leadership and you guys could talk about it together, or as a team, you talk about this together. Hey, we need more clarity over what we're trying to accomplish, or the team doesn't feel like they have clarity. And they could work on that with leadership to come up with a greater clarity on what their product is, what their product goal is, what their sprint goals are, if we're in a Scrum context. And if they are in this zone, okay, we need to get here quickly. We need get our people competent so that we can be more effective. So I hope this illustration is helpful for you guys, and it's quick, it's easy, hopefully it's memorable. Remember, just 3 C's, and then EDM, electronic dance music, enchained, myopic, dangerous. Write this on a napkin, write this on a whiteboard, and talk about it with your team. So hope this helps you guys, and looking forward to hearing from you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.